Hey Jets fans, this is Chris Nimbley, editor-in-chief of JetsInsider.com. Here at Jets practice facilities in Florham Park, staff writer Joe Barone. Jets coming off their first victory of the season, huge win against the Dolphins. They get the Jacksonville Jaguars at home at MetLife Stadium. Interesting matchup, interesting test. Jags had a huge win last week themselves, but they're still a Jacksonville Jaguars. Much improved, very good defense, but people were still like, yeah, it's the Jags. You can beat the Jags. So it'll be an interesting matchup. Let's start with the injury. Who's going to be out? We got a decent list on the injury report. A couple people aren't going to be playing, though.
Matt Forte, he didn't practice today. He'll be out. Jordan Leggett, tight end, he didn't practice. He's out. Josh Martin, I believe he didn't practice at all. He's out as well. Muhammad Wilkerson was limited today, so he's questionable. He has that shoulder injury, which he's not playing 100%, right. So we'll see about that. I think that's about it.
Yeah, so the big one is Forte.
Right.
Not that the Jets will necessarily miss him so much, but what that means probably not so much of the three running back rotation, even though they did sign Travaris to that. They could use him a little bit, mix him in, but probably not. If they're going to use him, it'll probably be in returning duties this week. It'll be a lot of Bilal Powell. He'll get the start, and a lot of Elijah McGuire. So big chance, big opportunity for the rookie running back and Bilal Powell to get the job done. Now, I've talked about the Jacksonville defense being really good. Their secondary is amazing, Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye, but they're giving up a lot of yards on the ground, 132 yards so far against them in the rushing game. So if the Jets are going to win this game, they're going to need a strong running game, and you're going to need a big game out of Bilal Powell and Elijah McGuire.
It's going to be good to see Powell get more touches. We've been calling for this for weeks now, possibly months.
Yes, years.
Yeah, right.
Year plus.
Exactly. But I'm also excited to see Elijah McGuire.
Yes.
I mean, we saw what he could do last week against Miami. Against Oakland, he had a couple touches here and there. And when I was talking with him, he was basically saying that he's full speed ahead as far as whatever his name is called or his number is called, he'll be ready to play. He's preparing like he's a starter. That's great to see a running back do that. You know, he's learned so much under Forte and Powell because they have years of experience. So I'm going to be interested to see how McGuire handles this. And you mentioned that the Jacksonville defensive line, very good. Their sacks are coming a lot. But let's see how this offensive line handles and maybe provides that offensive protection for them.
We missed one injury. Brandon Shell is doubtful. He hasn't practiced. He's probably not going to play. Bulls wouldn't give us who will start, whether it's Quali or Igiana, but they're going to have their hands full. One thing with this, again, with those two corners they have, don't know how much you can really expect out of the Jets receivers this week. Look for Austin Seferian-Jenkins to have a big role this week. How well he does, different story, but I expect a lot of targets from him. Other side of the ball, big story this week was stopping Leonard Fournette. Jags offense still not the greatest, besides the fact they put up 44 on the Ravens in London last week. Blake Bortles still their quarterback. He's got a penchant for turnovers. It's Leonard Fournette and Chris Ivory too, but more so Fournette that defense is going to be focused on. Big topic all week. How do you think the Jets, they had a big week last week stopping Ajayi. They have a similar task at hand. How do you think they're going to be able to go about that?
Well, when we were talking with Steve McClendon earlier today, he was saying that last week was last week. Right. Yes, they only gave 16 yards to Ajayi, but now they're focused on this week. And now you have a guy, Leonard Fournette, who's a rookie, who's performing all kind of sorts of success in Jacksonville. He's going to get a lot of touches. And now you have guys like Muhammad Wilkerson and Leonard Williams, who they're not playing 100% because they are banged up. So now the kind of shoulders a load on guys like McClendon and other guys on the defensive line, like Coney Ely, who, now they have that pressure about getting the pressure in the face of Bortles and now make him one-dimensional. If you could stop the run, force Bortles to pass because he's an up-and-down quarterback.
I don't expect this to be a high-scoring game. If the Jets are going to win this game, they're going to need to get to Bortles, and they're going to need to force Bortles to beat Bortles and turn the ball over. They had some success. Brooks getting the 2 interceptions last week, even though one of them was on the punt. But 2 interceptions. They can turn Blake Bortles into Blake Bortles, have him be wild and accurate, have him have a couple turnovers, maybe look a little like Glennon did last night against the Packers. That's going to be their best way to win. But let's jump right into it. Predictions. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, you just made me think about all this. If if you make Bortles one-dimensional and make him pass happy, you're going to get a couple of turnovers. And the Jets defense played extremely well last week. It's so tough. I think both teams are fairly even despite Jacksonville's offense throwing up 44 points against Baltimore last week. I think it could be one of those games where it could be like 23-21. I think the Jets might come out on top of this one. I think if McCown stays the way he has been, they could still win and make it 2-2 record.
Yeah, they're going to have to avoid turnovers too, because if they give one or two up, then it doesn't really matter what Bortles does. I think the Jacksonville defense is really good. I think the Jets are going to have a tough time moving the ball through the air. Kind of have to rely on the ground game. I do think the Jags win last week was a bit of an aberration.
Plus, they're coming back from London.
That's one thing that works in the Jets' favor. And then Blake Bortles is another thing that works in their favor. I just think the Jacksonville defense is a little too good. I think also people got a little carried away with the win against the Dolphins last week. I think the Jags somehow pulled this off. 20-17 type game, relatively low scoring.
Do you think there's a good chance that the Jets can come out on top?
Yeah, I'm going with the Jags, and I'm giving it about a 60% chance for me to be right. I could even be talking to 55% chance. Who knows? If you've watched the NFL this year, especially last week, who knows what's going on in this league? It's too early to tell, but we'll see. Right now, I'm rolling with the Jags. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I know you guys would like to see that, so we'll see. For Joe Barone, this is Chris Nimbley at JetsInsider.com. Be sure to check out JetsInsider.com for all latest breaking news on all things Jets.